Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am Ultra Sane. I'm here again to speak to you. A man known as Deji or Adeyanju or whatever he calls his name, he made several allegations against Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party, a man loved by all Nigerians. Now, what is the saga between him and Mr. Peter Obi? I'm not here to address all the allegations, but let me address the latest of all the allegations which he made 21st August 2025. Now, he said that Peter Obi is the leader, can only be the leader of the obedience on social media, and he is the leader of the mob. And he also claimed that political extremism is found or is a fundamental tenet of the obedient movement. Well, all these things are very, very unfounded. They are absolutely false and cannot hold water. Now, this is a man who thrives on falsehood. Now, okay, let me not just call names. Let me address the substance of the case. Deji called Peter Obi the leader of the obedience on social media, or he can only be the leader of the obedience on social media. And that means that he can never be president, or he can never pull, the majority of Nigerians. But what happened in 2023 says a different language or tells a different thing. In 2023, for the first time, Mr. Peter Obi, whom many Nigerians or many politicians regarded as an embryo politician, as a nascent politician, as a baby politician, secured 12 states. For the first time, he contested for the first time, and in that first attempt, pulled 12 states. And not only that, he secured two of the most critical and important territories in Nigeria, Lagos and Abuja, defeating the incumbent in these areas. So, how can you say that somebody who secured this victory in 2023, how can you say that the person can only be the president of the obedience on social media? Now, remember that the 2023 elections was widely declared or widely regarded as having been rigged by the APC. Now, supposing that it was not rigged, imagine the kind of influence, the kind of outcome the 2023 election would be in favor of the Mr. Peter Obi. So, that claim that Peter Obi can only be the president of the mob cannot hold water and does not hold water. Now, Mr. Deji also said that Mr. Peter Obi is the leader of a mob. Now, what is a mob? A dictionary defines a mob as a large group of people, especially disorderly people who that are intent on causing trouble or violence. Now, the obedient movement was formed around an ideology, a certain ideology possessed by Mr. Peter Obi. Now, do not forget that the obedient movement is not does not comprise a group that is situated in one part of Nigeria. No, the obedient movement spreads across all regions, all tribes, all ethnicity, all religions in Nigeria. So that would tell you that the majority of Nigerians can be called the obedience. They are citizens who have a common consciousness of a common problem, and then they organize themselves into a well-founded ideology, which is Mr. Peter Obi. So Peter Obi did not choose them, they chose him because Obi represents the new Nigeria that we had longed for. Now, the last thing in that claim, in that very post of August 21st, 2025 by Mr. Deji, is that there is a political or a bit of political extremism within the obedient circle or camp. That is not true. The leader of the obedient movement is Mr. Peter Obi, and Peter Obi on several occasions has emphasized and declared that anyone who abuses other politicians or uses violence against other people cannot be his disciple or does not follow him or cannot be his follower. Peter Obi has said it several times on X and beyond online. He has mentioned that. So if you use violence against other politicians or people or members of other political parties, you do not bear his principles. You cannot be called his followers.
Your time to remove It is expression that has been there for years. What we need is to remain calm and persistent in saying this is wrong. So for me, even the verbal ones on social media should not be there. We don't need to have any form of abuse or accusation, false accusations, anything. For me, it should not exist. Physical or verbal, social media or otherwise. Not the issue of any form of verbal attack or physical attack, anything. I urge those who are my supporters, please do not engage in that. Refine humility, patience, tolerance is not weakness, it's a virtue.
The opposition is using a campaign style that is of a psychological warfare type. Are we allowed to use that? Because we can use the same tools, but if we do not know if you're comfortable with things like this, then we can't be sure if it's neutral.
Can you give me an example of one of the tools?
Okay, Mr. President. Sorry, my president, so that's what I will call you. We have a TikTok app. It's an application. It's called TikTok. And on that application, you have millions of young people who are constantly on a daily basis being subjected to media of the current sitting president of the FCT, who is not supposed to be in power, and displaying him as though he is a drug baron, displaying him as though he's someone who is corrupt, but still in power. That is an example. Media tools that have been created using AI, user-generated content using AI, that are not even created from actual videos or clips, to portray an image as though someone who is illegitimate can indeed still rule a country as powerful as Nigeria. That is an example.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I will not be part of going to do what is wrong. I will not be part of going to portray somebody or what he is not. I will not be part of using AI or wrong tools to be showing people, calling their names. You have seen my politics. I don't call people names. No. Never. And I will not do it. If that is the only thing I'll do to be able to be president, capital no.
Of course, there are a couple of people within the obedient movement that, use violence or abusive words. But these are not what P2B aspire for. These are not what P2B preach. P2B preaches non-violence, peace, unity in Nigeria. So, Mr. Deji Adeyanju has totally presented a false narrative of the personality and the individuality of Mr. Peter Obi. Peter Obi is a man loved by all Nigerians. He's a man to take Nigeria to the promised land. So there has been several attempts to castigate him, to demonize him, but they have been, coming to naught, and they will continue to come to naught because Peter Obi can never be criticized effectively. Yes, he's beyond criticism. Whatever, he's not a saint, and he says it. However, he is the most credible candidate anywhere in the world. Ultra Sam, that's me.
Your Excellency, our dear President, being represented by the SGF, Your Excellencies that are here, especially the class of 1999, when I came here, they tried to offer me a seat in front. I said, I'm a very good student. I always like to stay where my own class people stay, because you don't stay with your seniors. So because of it, I had to take a seat at the back, because I want my own people, it's my turn for people to respect me. So let me stand on all protocols, paying my due respect to very respected class of 99, Your Excellency, the former Senate President, and all the and everything, let me stand on all due and existing protocol. We're here today to celebrate a man that will have been celebrated more than this. I know I did ask Lucky in his 90th birthday a question, and I'm going to repeat it here. Those we discuss in private, I'll say it here. We live in a country that don't celebrate those who are supposed to be celebrated. If we do, the celebration would have been more. Who is representing Ministry of Education here? He built the first university. Who is representing Ministry of Transport? He did the first airline. It was among the first 3 to be given banking licenses, private banking licenses. I'm in that industry, so I know when they built banking industry. He did a lot in education, employing people, 17,000 people. Nigeria today, if we had been a country that is productive, over 120 million people would have been employed. That means one person is employing 17,000. So we need about 8,000 industries to be able to do that. But we have about 1,000 functional industries. That's why we have unemployment. So he needs more than this celebration. And I plead with SGF. I know you're going to do more. But now that we have an opportunity, we have to change the way we honor people. The GCFR and GCON should be people who are entrepreneurial and productive, not us, the politicians. If they like, they can remove our own and give them so that the country can produce and be able to employ people. Ibedo deserves more, not just national honor, all the support government can give him. And that's what we need to be celebrating, so that more people can go into entrepreneurship, support education, support what he did. That is a great work, and I'm sure you will do your own to be able to advise accordingly, and so that in the next few days, maybe, yes, we'll be hearing things different. I thank you. You won't look for me when you talk about the education. The rest assured that from today, endowment is not paid in one day. Endowment continues. And I assure you that annually, the endowment fund will see Mr. Peter Obi's little contribution. At least for the next 10 years, as long as I live. Because what he did is a great thing. Because of him today, in my village, in every village in Nigeria, if you have a means of solving transport, it's called Okada. What more did we need? He deserves more than we are celebrating here. Let us celebrate him. May God continue to bless your family, bless all of us that are gathered here. Thank you.
There's nobody who is qualified to be called excellence here. Where somebody thinks because he's elected a governor or House of Assembly member, and wrongly they call him His Excellency, he now becomes a lord unto himself. Let me tell you, you know what His Excellency means? It's an exemplary life. And if you see the president in America become sick, he goes to an ordinary hospital. If you see the prime minister in Britain become sick, he goes to an ordinary hospital. Because they are people of conscience. But here, our national hospital is collapsing. The equipment is going down. The budget this year for it is less than 2 billion. But the budget to keep a particular building where the occupants don't go to hospital here is costing us 20-something billion naira. Because we don't have conscience and people of competence, we don't have a national library. Every country of the world have a national library. Nigeria as a country does not have a national library. Our budget this year for our national library is 980 million naira. But the budget of National Assembly Library is 15 billion. Because we have no conscience. We are not developed. Because of it, we're not doing well. The measure of development is what they call Human Development Index. And three things, that's measure of development. And three things drives it: health, education, and pulling people out of poverty. But of these three, education is the most critical. So countries are doing better than us today because they invested in education. And you can see it everywhere. You might be looking at it, oh, but we're in Nigeria. Other people did not do this and everything. Those who are leading the world today are educated in their country. Today you have every reason to celebrate. It's the opportunity of passing through this wonderful institution where you have been taught what Father has said: conscience. Conscience. Conscience is a critical component of your character.